Good morning, Professor. My name is Monica, and today I'm going to be going over Chapter 12.4, Solving Equations Containing Fractions. The main objective for this chapter has to deal with denominators. The objective is to recall that to clear denominators, you need to multiply each side of an equation by the least common denominator. The result is an equation that contains no fractions. In this section, the fractions in the equations contain variables in the denominator section. Examples are x, y, h, z, n, and a. Taking note of this chapter, in the chapter there are solving equations, not operating on existing expressions. We are not writing each fraction in terms of the LCD. We are multiplying both sides of the equation by the LCD. Occasionally, a value of a variable in a fractional equation makes one of the denominators 0. In this case, that value of the variable is not a solution of the equation. So today, I'm going to be going over two different problems from the section. Both of the problems are going to be solving for x. The first problem that we are going to do is containing a fraction with the denominator of being x. 1 minus 6 over x equals 4. So the first step that we're going to do for this problem is we want to make x on its own side. So the first thing we're going to do is move 1 to the opposite side and subtract from both sides. Now, as I wrote down, is going to be now negative 6 over x equaling to 4 minus 1. Then, what you want to do from there is minus 4 minus 1. And then on the opposite side, you're still going to drop down the negative 6 over x. 4 minus 1 equals 3. If you don't know subtraction, then you can't be in this class. Haha. Now, with this step, we're going to want to simplify. For this step, we're going to multiply x to the 3. So x times 3, or 3 times x. That's going to give us 3x. Now, what we want to do is divide 3 on both sides, which is going to turn out to look like negative 6 over 3 is equal to 3x over 3. Now, to get the answer, we're going to now cross out the 3 and then bring x down. Now, negative 6 over 3, we're going to simplify. By doing that is going to be 2. But we're not going to forget about the negative sign. So the negative sign is going to be dropped down as well. So it's actually going to be negative 2 is equal to x. But it's going to make more sense if we flip it. So it's going to be x equals negative 2. So the end result for this problem, 1 minus 6 over x equals 4, is going to be x equals negative 2. Now, since we finished the first problem, we're going to move on to our second problem. The second problem also consists of solving for x. So I'm going to put right here at the corner, solve for x, and it's going to be problem number 2. So for this problem, is going to be two denominators. First one is going to be 2 over x minus 1 is equal to 6 over 2x plus 1. As you can see, both sides are two different signs. One is negative and one is positive. We're going to use the cross multiplication rule. So for that, I'm going to bring the equal signs down. And then for me, to make it easier, I'm going to rewrite the actual problem. 2 over x minus 1 equals 6 over 2x plus 1. Now for me, I'm going to use dots to simplify that we are cross multiplying. When we do that, we're going to have on one side to our left, we're going to have 2, and then in parentheses, 2x plus 1. I'm using the parentheses because when I cross multiplied, I'm not doing 2 times 2x plus 1. So that's going to be a separate problem, but still in the same. Then I'm going to drag down the 6, which is going to be 6 parentheses x minus 1. And then it's all going to be over 2. The reason I'm dividing the problem by 2 is because I want to have the x's by themselves. It will make it easier and more simple to do it by 2 than by 6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this down. And then now we are going to bring down the remaining when we divided it by 2. We're going to do 2x plus 1 is now equal to 3 parentheses x minus 1. Again, we can't bring down the 6 because we did 6 divided by 2, and that's going to be equal to 3. Now what we're going to do, we're going to distribute 3x and then 3 to 1. Now we're going to keep the 2x plus 1, and then we're going to equal it to 3x minus 3. We're going to keep this sign. Now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 2x from both sides because of the same grouping that they share. Right here, 2x and 3x have the same groups or are in the same groups. So what we're going to do now is minus 2x. Now that's going to leave us with 1. So I'm going to bring that 1 down. And then that's going to equal, on the opposite side, 3x minus 3 minus 2x. What we're going to do now is simplify it. Again, 3x minus 2x. What we're going to do now is bring down the 1 again. And that's going to be equal to x minus 3. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify again by adding 3 to both sides. We're going to change the signs. Cross 3 out. And then on this side, we have 4. And that's going to be equal to x. But, like we did on the last problem, we're going to switch it. So then it's going to be written as x is equal to 4.